Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Don from 1A Auto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And the next time you need a part for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we show you how to remove and reinstall an exterior door handle on this 2006 Chevy Impala. We're doing the rear, the driver's side rear, which is the same as the passenger side rear. Also, same procedure for any Impala from 2006 to 2012. Tools you'll need are a flat blade screwdriver, 7 and 10 millimeter sockets with a ratchet and extension, some needle nose pliers, and a T30 Torx driver. And start, there are 3 trim panels. There's one right in behind the door. You just use a small flat blade screwdriver and pry out the little trim panel. There's also a panel right in the door pull area, just kind of rubber. It pulls right up, and then there's a small trim panel down near the rear of the door. Pull that out. The T30 screw behind the door handle, 2 in the door pull cup, and a 7 millimeter bolt right back in there. I'm going to speed up here as I remove those 3 T30 screws and the 7 millimeter screw. Use your flat blade screwdriver again and carefully pull the little triangle piece of trim at the top off. Then better to use like a putty knife or even a door panel clip tool if you have one, to pry out on the door panel, and you'll release some clips. Once they pop, they come off, and then you'll need to lift the door panel up and go in behind. Once you get it up off the door sill, go in behind. The cable snaps in. You just need to squeeze a couple tabs with some pliers and pull the cable back and out, and then the ball right up out of the socket. The lock switch, if you just pry on the tabs a little bit, or you could disconnect the harness, but bring that out and the door panel's up. Carefully pull back your water shield, and you want to be sure not to rip it or tear it, because you will obviously reuse it. Now go inside the door, and 2 things. You're looking at the yellow clip on the rod that's moving up and down right there. You want to release that yellow clip, and I'll show you that in a second. And then there's a 10 millimeter bolt right there that you're going to remove. This clip's shot on a different door, but you can see you kind of grab one edge of that clip, pull it out, and then pull the rod out. And we'll fast forward here as we reach up in there, undo that clip and rod, and then use a 10 millimeter socket and ratchet to remove the bolt. There are 3 T30 Torx bolts on the edge of the door. Need to remove those just to move the latch assembly out of the way so we can get to the rear bolt that goes on the door handle. Okay, so we've got the bolts out. We kind of pull that latch assembly forward, but you do have to kind of force the lock knob down in a little bit to get some clearance in behind that latch assembly. And then the bolt is right back in there, and you can see we circled the bolt right there. And fast forward as we use a 10 millimeter socket, ratchet, and extension to remove that bolt. From the outside, pull the handle out and kind of angle it up, and it will come out of the door. And you'll want to transfer the pad and possibly even the rod onto your new handle. Okay, put the rod in carefully, and the handle should go. Okay, fast forwarding, you can actually just by hand reach right up in and start the bolts in, as well as clip the rod back into place and tighten them up. And now put the latch back in place and put the 3 T30 Torx screws back in place and tighten them. Again, make sure that you have that rod back in place and the yellow clip secured, and put your water shield back in place. Reinstall the door panel. Bring the door panel close to the door and put the ball and socket from the door latch cable back in, snap the cable back into its bracket, and then put the lock switch back in place. Okay, the top of the door panel goes onto the window ledge, and then there are a series of pins that hold the door panel onto the door. So first we'll get the door panel up and secured onto the window ledge, and pretty much once you do that, it's lined up. You can just tap it down, and then the pins should be lined right up. Just a firm fist to set those, and we'll fast forward as we put the 4 screws. Again, the one 7mm goes in the back of the door, 2 T30s down in the door pull cup, and a T30 in behind the door handle. And then finished off by putting the trim panels back on. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.oneauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.